Let's have a look here. Morning guys, how are we doing? Hope you're good. So just cracking on that live feed. So if you are watching this back, it's 5:15 in the morning. It is like pitch black already. So obviously we're definitely slowly losing that light in the morning. And this is pretty much the reality of how the live feed's going to end up being under a street lamp. 5:15 in the morning. I just want to talk about today change and how change takes time and how it's a process and how there's lots of small steps just going about to changing. Is something really that I experienced mainly through myself when I came out of my rut, so to speak, when I left the military. And I kind of looked at this in a strategic way, in the fact that I could never change everything all at once. And trying to change everything all at once, I knew would be demanding on my mindset. And I had to be really cautious not to overwhelm myself. And I think that what you have to do if you're looking to change, if you're looking to make changes to be a much better version of yourself, in terms of your fitness, in terms of your nutrition, in terms of the way that you think and you structure your life, then you have to kind of look at things, and you have to look at changing things in a process. Now, if you try to change your fitness, your nutrition, your mindset, the way that you think, the way that you act, all on the same day, you started all of those things all at once, the reality is that you will probably only end up lasting a month at most, because you're using all of your energy to try and change everything at once. And our brains just can't cope with all of that stuff at once. It just simply can't. That's the way it is. So what we have to do is look at, okay, what do I need to change? How do I get this started? And for me, the key to successful change is attacking things within small wins, all right? So finding small wins as you go along. Having a goal, committing yourself, and kind of going, right, we're going for this, let's go. And I would say that anyone that's really looking to lose weight, the first thing that I would definitely be looking at is fitness. Now, fitness, half of the problem is that most people don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know which way to turn to. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. They go into the gym. The likelihood is that if they're overweight, then they're low on self-esteem. So actually getting into the gym could be quite difficult to start with. Maybe you don't know what you're doing, so you sign up to a gym, you go to one session, and then you end up not going again for another 3-4 months, and you end up paying for a gym membership. So is that the right option for you? You can tell me. A lot of people have come and joined the Brotherhood, and that's something that they can get started on. It gives them structure. All the workouts are done and they can do it from home. The other option is that you could hire a PT to guide you and teach you over a 12-week period. Whatever it might be, it's just got to be a decision. You can't just keep going, I'm going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You've got to be clear on what you're going to do. And then you've got to decide, what days you're going to train on. Remember, if you haven't trained for a while, remember, one step at a time. So what we do is go, do you know what? I'm going to train 3 days a week to start with for the first 6 weeks, first 6 to 8 weeks, so that my body can get used to it. Maybe even once a week, but it's a small win. It's a step in the right direction. What tends to happen is that when you start achieving in that fitness and you start doing well and you start thinking, God, I'm getting this, you want more and more and more and more and more. And what you want to do is make sure that you progress in a controlled fashion. What you don't want to do is suddenly go, I'm fucking on it, I can't believe I haven't done this before, go balls deep, and then after about 2 weeks you get bored, or the adrenaline wears off and you realise just how hard work this is going to be, and you crash and burn. So what you really have to think about when it comes to your fitness side of things is just, okay, how can I get my body moving? How can I get the muscles I haven't used for a while? How can I get within an environment where other people are working out and achieving and trying to get results? I've got no idea where my dogs are. And how can I move forwards? One step at a time. You might be quite weak because you haven't trained for a while. You might be quite overweight because you've neglected yourself. That is what it is. So be realistic about how you're going to start. Think about the small wins. and progress over time. Okay, don't start thinking about I want to lose 2 to 3 stone when you start thinking I want to make sure I can sustain this for the next sort of 8 weeks and then beyond. When I get to 8 weeks, then I might start thinking about nutrition, then I might start thinking about other things. The other thing is that so many people lack structure when it comes to bettering yourself and getting fit. This fucking makes me look ill, this light. Good girl, come here. Is the structure of your life. Now, if you have a lot of chaos going on in your life and there's a lack of structure, then the likelihood is that it's going to be very difficult for you. Jessie, come here now, please. Sit down. It's going to be very difficult for you to manage your routine because it's all going to be new to you. You're trying to fit in. Jessie, sit down, please. You're going to, sorry, dealing with a naughty child. Sit down and wait there, please. You're going to have to come up against new routines, new habits, new structures, and all of these are going to be distracting. You're suddenly going to be trying to get used to actually including exercise within your daily routine, and that can be very difficult because there are an awful lot of distractions going on trying to pull you in the opposite direction. So what you have to do is kind of prioritise yourself a little bit and prioritise some time to include your habits and your routines. All right, and that way that you can start integrating new habits, new positive environments, and start bringing them into your life one step at a time. Good boy, come here. The thing is that when people say that they're going to start the Monday thing, they only ever last 48 hours because they don't have the structure in place and they don't realise the foundations that you need to build to be successful in fitness, health and nutrition. You know, if we're going to do this and we're going to do this and we're going to make sure that we do this for the next 10 years to make sure that we're around for as long as we possibly can be, this has to be an integral part of your life. You have to have some foundations in place, some principles in place, some values in place, so that you actually are on top of your fitness, health and mindset. Okay, you can't just go into it willy-nilly with no plan, not really thinking about what you have to do, not really thinking that you have to structure it into your life. All right, so let's summarize. Small wins, very, very small wins. Don't look for the end outcome immediately. The idea is that you have to slowly integrate pieces of fitness, nutrition and mindset into your life. You have to make sure that you prioritize time for it. You have to make sure that you're structured for it. This is not just something that you can cuff. The people that cuff it last 2 to 4 weeks and then they come off again. And that's why they yo-yo up and down, because they're not thinking long term. And when you think long term, your strategy changes and there's no rush. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Small wins consistently every day. You know, I always say if you hit a win every single day, that's 365 wins in a year. Can you imagine how much you would have grown as a person in fitness, in fat loss, in confidence, self-esteem in 1 year with an extra 365 wins you didn't have last year? So I want you to go away. I want you to think about your journey. I want you to think about the small wins. I want you to think about how you're going to structure it into your life. And this is an actual plan, guys. You know, I want you to think about it. You can't just get up and say, I'm going to sort myself out. You've got to put some thought behind it. And if you haven't, then it's going to be very difficult for you. And if you need help with that, that's where I come in by joining the Brotherhood. Everything's structured for you. Everything's done for you. All the information is being put together for you. And you have support and guidance as well. So if that's something you're interested in, there's a link down below. Get in touch. Let's get you in there. You know, guys are achieving massive amounts in there right now, and it is growing quickly. So we won't be opening the doors for too much longer. We'll be taking a break to work with the guys that we've got. So listen, have a great day, and I'll catch you real soon.